think this microphone will work better. So I'll just have a stripped-down version of my homily, I suppose. Back when I was in my 20s, my brother and I, Reed, avid hiker, competitive mountain bike racer, and I realized I wasn't a hiker. I hated that, but I didn't hate it, but I didn't do it. But I recognized that we were kind of growing distant, so I said I'm going to make the ultimate sacrifice. I'll ask Reed if we could go hiking. And so we did, and he had a perfect place. He said, "Oh, sure. We're going to go up Granite Mountain Lookout Trail, out north of I-90 by Snoqualmie Pass." And as we started, I just kind of nonchalantly asked how long was this hike? Oh, 4 miles. 4 miles. 4 miles up, 4 miles back. I looked it up right now this week. It's 3,800 feet elevation gain. Reed called it an easy hike. So for long stretches, I was just behind him. I was just looking at his heels, making sure I didn't stumble. Very rocky, very high, very difficult trail for me. And at some point, I just didn't want to, lose my honor by asking for a break. But eventually, he stopped himself. And so they're clearing halfway up. Beautiful view. I-90, just this little thin ribbon of gray down there. And we're going to have some lunch up at the lookout, but I said, why don't we break out the food now? And he said, okay, we'll have a few apricots and some nuts. And I was thinking, this is beautiful. In fact, I'm not sure we need to go any higher. And Ray just laughed at me like I was joking. He said, this view's nothing. Wait till we get to the top. So we cleaned up and off we went. And, that little break did give me a chance to breathe, and it kind of motivated me. I would kind of like to see what's going on from the top. So off we went. And I was thinking about that in terms of, that was 35 years ago, 40, whenever. I was thinking about that in terms of today's Gospel of the Transfiguration. So this is in chapter 9, and in chapter 8, Jesus tells the apostles he's going to be crucified. He's going up to Jerusalem, he's going to die and rise from the dead. And so this is the response that Jesus gives to that declaration. He also takes them up to this mountain on the way to Jerusalem, and he shows them his glory. He says, okay, we're going to go all the way, but I want to give you a little foretaste of what this is going to be like. Because it's going to be a hard climb to Jerusalem. And I think about this in terms of our own life's journeys. Lent's a long journey. At the end is Good Friday and Easter. We're in the middle of our fasting, I suppose, I hope. But that's just it's kind of a simulation of life. Life's long, hard. It seems like it's uphill. Life seems like it's an uphill journey. And we know where it's going to end. We're all going to be on the cross, right? And our faith tells us that Easter is also waiting for us, but it's a long climb. And I was just thinking of this in terms of it's steep, it's painful, we're tired. And like the apostles, Jesus sometimes on this trail will give us blessings, rest stops, food, views of the future. And these are consoling, right? It's like, don't give up. This is good. As bad as your life seems, it's still good. And I think one of the challenges for Catholics, well, everybody, but other Christians, but that's to remember that the ultimate goal of life, or our spiritual life, is not these rest stops on the way. That we're looking at something that's supernatural. The purpose of our life and the church, the reason we're here, is the death and resurrection. Now, I think sometimes we can think, well, my faith and the church and everything, it's about making this life better somehow. It could be that my relationships will be better, my marriage will be better, I'll be more at peace. I can bring about, help social justice take place on earth. And these are all part of the spiritual life. But it's not really the main reason. Mount Tabor is not the New Jerusalem. It's a help, but it's not the deal. The deal is going all the way to the top. I think sometimes we go in and get stuck and say, this is far enough. I've grown enough, I've climbed enough, I've suffered enough. I'll stay right here. I just camp right here. And Jesus says, no, we're gonna have to go down the mountain. Peter says, let's build some little huts here. Can't we stay here? It's pretty good. No. Remember there's that cross? Oh yeah. And then there's a resurrection. Oh yeah. And so I would just, I was thinking about the way it turned out for Reed and me. I did make it to the top. Went all the way up to the lookout. Couldn't get in, but you get up the ladder. And it was incredible. You weren't looking up at anything anymore. You were just looking, it was all down. I was at the top. No more climbing left. That's where we're headed. So don't stop. Don't count yourself short, and don't count the church short, and don't count grace short. Yes, there are crosses, and especially the big one. We're going to die. But he's saying, after that's glory. Don't give up. Keep going to the top. So let us now stand for our